In section 6, we're going to talk about variability in a strategy used in children. One important point here is children, they are not just using one strategy. They are able to use like different types of a strategy, and they can combine all of them together, or maybe one or two of them together and combine their own novel strategy. They can, for example, rehearse, they can categorize, they can elaborate, and they can just actually, for example, combine rehearsing and elaborating together and just come up with a new novel strategy for themselves based on the research question that they have, or maybe based on the problem that they have in front of them. Another important point that we already talked about is short-term memory's capacity. We know that it's just limited even in adults. So all human beings, regardless of the age, like being infant, children, or even adults, they need some strategies to make it long-term. Like, for example, if you are trying to be prepared for your exam, for your test 3, you know that you might forget this stuff, right? So since you know that it is almost open book exam, you can just take some notes and just have them close to you while you are reading the textbook. So this way you can just read those notes over and over, and hopefully they're gonna go to your long-term memory. And if not, you at least have a piece of paper in front of you that, like, in the middle of the exam, you can just check your notes and just make sure you are just getting the right answer. So this is like kind of a strategy. Here we have like different problems in front of us. For example, recognition of a musical phrases, understanding a specific dialect, a solution to a puzzle. So what is actually the common point here? I will give you a minute. All of them has one common thing. It is knowledge. You have to have knowledge about music. You have to have knowledge about different types of dialect and accent to just recognize one specific accent. Children in general, they are acquiring different knowledge, a wide range of knowledge actually, from their previous experiences or their current experiences. And even this is the same case for adults as well. For example, the first time I was talking to you guys, probably you understood that I'm not from here, right? But some of you guys might not locate my accent because like there are not a lot Iranian people in the United States. So you were just assuming that, okay, where she's coming from, where is, like, for example, her nationality. Then I introduced myself. You actually got that I'm Iranian. From now on, based on that experience, you are able to actually locate Iranian accent in your, like, whenever you are just interacting with different people. This is the same case for, like, for example, locating a person from another country. If it would be like, for example, if it would be like a multicultural person, if it would have like friends from different diverse ethnicities, we are able to just understand like different characteristics in them, and we are just able to understand like different criteria about them. And for example, the next time we would see a new person, we have like some sort of ideas about, for example, their diet, they just general habits, and they're like, for example, traditional food, even like everything, right? So this is all about knowledge. We have like some sort of current knowledge, and we have like some sort of base knowledge. Our base knowledge can be developed based on our everyday interaction and based on the way we are interacting with the environment. Just imagine that your relationship between like new knowledge and the information that you have is just bidirectional. For example, you had knowledge about, like, for example, different accent, different dialects, but you needed to just interact with a new person to just understand, for example, their nationality, then add the new information to your previous information to just understand. For example, I'm Iranian. and I'm not, for example, Hispanic, I'm not Italian or like any other nationalities. So this is all about being bidirectional. It is not, okay, you have knowledge about everything, so basically you can answer every possible questions around you. No, you're always learning about the newest stuff. If you would be that person who would always explore new environments, who would always be open to new experiences, that way you can add to your knowledge. And that's why we are saying that knowledge, this is like bidirectional. This actually leads to the idea of novice versus experts. The main difference of these two categories is the amount of information, the quantity of knowledge. An expert person, they would have a gigantic amount of knowledge about one specific criteria. For example, if you are, let's say, a writer, you know every possible, I mean, the majority of famous books, the majority of famous authors, you know different styles of writing. However, not everybody knows about that kind of stuff, right? Or if you are a psychologist, you know a lot about different psychological perspective. If you are a clinical psychologist, you know a lot about different techniques for addressing like anxiety, depression, and like any other abnormalities like mental disorders. So this is the main difference between being a novice and being an expert. Like expert person, they do have more knowledge about a specific criteria. So my question from you is, answer this one. Are you an expert in something? What actually can make you an expert, and how did you become one?